As John F. Kennedy said, there are risks and costs to a program of action, but they are far less than the long-range risks and costs of comfortable inaction. There's just something about the status quo that is literally intoxicating. You don't want to move. You don't want to put things at risk. You want to keep things as they are. And I get it. Change is scary. Change may be one of the single most paralyzing elements that we as humans face. That in your space, in that little area that you've carved out for yourself, it may be small and it may keep you less than you could be, but God damn it, does it feel good? Because it's safe. Because you know your enemies, you know where everything is at, you know all the things that you need to know to feel comfortable. But in that comfort is a world that shrinks around you, is a world that literally is forcing you to confine yourself to the size of that box. It's making you only as big as the space that you've allowed yourself. So whatever change you refuse to embrace, not only does it freeze you in time, but it stunts your growth. And if you want to become something, that is literally the act of changing. It is literally the act of rebirth, of making yourself something new. But in that, you must face the terror of change. You must face that you may fail. You must face that you may embarrass yourself. You have to face that in the unknown could be the worst. But unless you're able to do that, you'll never get to taste the vastness of living outside the box, that merely having a life that isn't confined is in and of itself far more interesting and beautiful than anything could ever be when it is locked in one place. When you have a box that has no windows, your world can be nothing but a wall. But when you have a window, when you have a door, that becomes an entryway into something completely new. And as Pablo Picasso said, action is the fundamental key to all success. So if you want to succeed, if you want something more for your life, you have to be willing to walk through that door. And if you're in a box that has no door, then you've got to be willing to kick one open. You've got to be willing to claw through feet of concrete if that's what it takes to get on the other side. But you've got to be willing to push yourself out of that comfort zone to find out what could be, to take control of your destiny and realize the fundamental human truth. Only you control what you can be. And if you want to escape, the one thing you need is belief. And as Phil Knight said, belief is irresistible. Once you believe that you can act in accordance with something that will actually help move you forward, once you believe to the core of your being that there is no one better suited to building the life of your dreams than you, then suddenly safety becomes the least safe thing that you could do. Suddenly, being in a space that is so narrowly defined is the only thing that's going to choke the life out of you. So the only real risk is not to have faith in yourself. The only real risk is to stay put. The only real risk is to play it safe. So my friends, find that belief in yourself. Take that risk. Act. Move. Do something. Define a new life. Build a new you. That's the key to success.
If you want to be an anomaly, you have to act like one. Like, people want all these special things to happen, but then they're acting like everybody else. And that gets into the Saturdays on in your 20s, like, or just like taking risks or things of that nature. Like, I totally agree with you. I think about it as, you know that picture where like it looks like two people kissing or it looks like a glass of champagne? Like, I just basically think at this point in my business life, the world sees the glass of champagne and I see the two people kissing.
As Derek Jeter said, there may be people who have more talent than you, but there's no excuse for anyone to work harder than you do. At the end of the day, whether you believe in talent or not is completely irrelevant. Everyone should believe in hard work. Everything in your life is literally a result of that. You're born an infant, a lump of flesh that can't even hold its own head up, and yet somehow by practicing, by learning, by growing, you're able to get better. You're literally incapable of anything when you're born. Every skill that you have in your life, all the things that you take for granted, at one point you couldn't do them. So understanding that humans truly are an adaptation machine and that they are capable of acquiring any skill that they want, but it requires hard work. It requires that you do the reps. It requires that you put in the effort. And at the end of the day, the people that you're going to surpass are not going to be the people that have less talent than you. Maybe they even have more talent than you. It's going to be the people that you're willing to outwork. But until you're willing to outwork them, you're always going to be stuck. And as John Irving said, to do anything really well, you have to overextend yourself. And that's the key. If you want to put in an extraordinary performance, if you want to absolutely dazzle people, then you have to do something amazing. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to do things that other people think are going to break you, that other people simply believe there's no way that you could be able to pull that off, that the human animal just is not capable of the lengths to which you are professing to go. And when you profess it, you have to be willing to back it up, and you have to put yourself on that march knowing in no uncertain terms, under no circumstances, and for no reason whatsoever would you ever be willing to back down. And when you go in with that level of certainty, then and only then are you actually going to be able to pull this off. And as Billie Jean King said, champions keep playing until they get it right. Fatigue will literally chip away at your will to win. It is the thing inside of your mind, that weak voice that tells you that you're not going to be able to make it, the weak voice that begs you to stop, and the weak voice that promises safety and security if you would just quit. And here's the worst part about that. It's right. If you quit right now, if you stop, just sit down, relax. You're not at risk anymore. You're not at risk of embarrassment. You're not at risk of failure. But you're also not at risk of greatness. And if you really want to achieve something, you've got to find ways to put yourself at risk of something great happening. You've got to put yourself at risk of overextending yourself. You've got to be willing to face that you may die, that you may actually fall. And here's the thing, for the people that dismiss that say they would never put themselves in that situation, then you have limits. And make no mistake, those limits are self-placed. And for the people that are willing to push that, for people that are willing to go beyond that, for people who understand there are things in this world that they're prepared to die for, and it is the thing that they put at the center of their life. It is the thing that they are living for, but they're not going to stop, and they understand that where the human mind thinks it will break is far short of where it will actually break. But before you can find that point, you've got to be willing to push yourself. You've got to be willing to go harder and farther than anybody thinks is reasonable or sensible. That's the path. And so the question is, can you be thought a fool? The question is, do you believe in something so much that you would put yourself at risk like that? The question is, can you face down everyone, including the weak voice inside of your own mind, to make the world come true that you want to see come true? Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to do it for you. So if you're a champion, keep going until it's done.
And so I feel like there's a shift that can make people work harder. The big one that I push is you're going to die. Like if you're like to me, life is broken down into complaining and not. So if you're not complaining, well then I have no advice for you. I'm pumped. Like you did it. Like I have friends who make $42,000 a year, work 9 to 4, kind of, with an hour and a half lunch and 45 minutes of YouTube and 10 minutes of bullshitting and an hour of complete wasted time in a meeting. So they're kind of working like 6, hours a week, right? But they're pumped.
Right.
And they text me, these are high school friends, and they'll text me like how happy they are to be the coach of their kids' baseball team. And like that's amazing. Like that seems very obvious to me. Like that's right. Like, what's super weird? I'm actually weirdly envious. It sounds cool, like in theory, right? Grass is always greener, right? Like far less pressure, like all that time with my kids, oof, that would be cool. Like there's just like all these things that I can justify. So to me, but I have friends who have $100 million in the bank because of Facebook's IPO, who complain, who are still hungry, who want to do even more, who will complain to me because they know I work a lot about no work-life balance and they don't get to spend enough time with their family. And I'm like, you have $100 million. Like you could stay home, like you're in control. Like don't complain about it. You've made that choice. Don't bullshit me. Like you want to spend more time with your family? Spend more time with your family. This is back to what we said about keyboard warriors. I'm trying to be very careful about what I'm saying versus what I'm doing because that's how you get exposed. And I don't mean like people calling you out and being like, you suck. I mean to yourself. I don't want to be exposed by myself. It's looking yourself in the mirror and saying like, am I doing this right? So to me, there's so many people that are talking shit about how big of an entrepreneur they're gonna be and how much they're gonna achieve, and they don't work on weekends. You know, I worked every Saturday of my 20s. Like, and I talk to 20-year-old entrepreneurs every single day. Lately, I've been saying to them, this Saturday, you're gonna have more time off than I've had in my entire 20s on a Saturday. So like, before you tell me how you're gonna be bigger than me, start thinking about what you're actually doing.
Right.
If you're in a situation you do not like or that you're unhappy with, a job, the lack of a job, a relationship, the lack of a relationship, your quality of life, and if you have no intention of changing that situation and no plans of doing anything about it, please, for the love of God, stop burdening everybody around you with your own self-pity, because all you're doing is adding pointless negative energy to a world that already has enough of it. And you'll find that you're dragging everybody around you down with you. You know, we all have that one negative person that complains about the shitty situation they're in while doing absolutely nothing to rectify it. They often do this as a sort of denial of responsibility. If you're not trying to get out of your shitty situation, then every day you're choosing to stay in it. And you can't complain about being given the choice you keep making. You know, one of my favorite quotes is, change happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of making a change. And I really do believe that. So when I hear people complain, and knowing they're not changing it, I think maybe it's not hurting them enough for them to fight to get out. Complaining causes negativity, which causes you to complain, which causes negativity. And there are a few actionable things you can do to immediately stop this negative cycle and to break out of it. And the first one is actually just changing your perception. You know, if you can't change it, then at least change the way you think about it. Someone said, the brain doesn't just observe the world, it projects a second story over everything we see. That story is our perception. We can complain rose bushes have thorns, or we can rejoice that thorn bushes have roses. Perception defines everyone's reality. The second thing is about your internal locus of control. Take responsibility. If you don't take responsibility, then you're choosing to be a victim of circumstance. And this victim mindset dilutes human potential, it kills action, and by not accepting personal responsibility for your own circumstances, you're greatly reducing the power you have to change it. And there are two primary choices we all make in life. It is to accept conditions as they are, or to accept the responsibility for changing them. Please choose the latter. And the last one, which is the most important of all, is making a change. Einstein said, as we all know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. And for every action, we have a reaction. If you want a new reaction, you must perform a new action. I found in my life that change starts with a big decision and a tiny step. Today, right now, yesterday was the time to make that decision. It's time to take that step.
I want to build the biggest building in town ever by just building the biggest building in town, while I think most people try to tear down everybody else's building. So I think positivity and good is practical advice to building an empire, and I want to be the poster child of the person that built the biggest, baddest empire and did it by being a good dude along the way. And not everybody's gonna be happy about everything I did, but if it's 97% of people talking good behind your back, that's a real legacy. And I want to do it in a pop culture way. I'm gonna do it anyway. People have done that before. Just so you know, there's plenty of people. Warren Buffett's a really good dude. Like there's plenty of people that have done that. There's a difference. I want to do it and I want to be a rock star, right? Like, and that's where you influence people. Like, you know, like I want to do it, but I also want to be the most popular. And so then that person's like, oh, I want to be him. So I guess I'll be nice. Like I want to literally take people who have DNA that's kind of nice and make them more nice because they think that's how I became big. So I basically want to trick the business world into becoming kind